Is the Delhi deep freeze finally over? What do the numbers currently look like? And what might the BJP do next? What could their potential strategy be now that it's fairly clear that the Lieutenant Governor will invite the BJP to form the new government? The BJP and the Akali Dal currently have 29 seats. Can we cut this full frame, please? So that our viewers can see that the Aam Aadmi Party has 27 seats in the Delhi Assembly. The Congress has 8. The JDU has 1. Others are 2. The majority mark, remember, is 34. That's because some of the people who were elected as MLAs have now become MPs. Let's take a look at what the potential scenarios are. Here is how the Delhi numbers game could pan out. The BJP, along with the Akalis with 29, one of the options, of course, and this will be important, is to be able to get both the others, one of whom is Vinod Bini, who was earlier in the Aam Aadmi Party but has now given up being with the Aam Aadmi Party. There's a shortfall of 3. In the first scenario, 12 or more Aam Aadmi Party MLAs can defect. Remember, as per the anti-defection law, it needs to be 1/3. In the second scenario, 3 or more Congress MLAs can defect. And then there is a third scenario as well. At least 5 opposition MLAs skip the floor test. If you can get 5 opposition MLAs to skip the floor test, then the BJP again manages to cross the majority figure because the overall majority number has been brought down. Scenario 4 is that the LG calls for a secret ballot. AAP and Congress MLAs, it is said by the BJP, are desperate to support the party. However, they want to keep their seats and therefore don't want to support the BJP openly. So here are the 4 key scenarios. Joining us on this broadcast, I want to begin by introducing Dr. Yogendra Yadav, leads ideologue of the Aam Aadmi Party. With us also Sambit Patra. Sambit Patra is with the BJP, and we've got Brajesh Kalapa from the Congress Party. I want to go across first to Sambit. Sambit, why is the BJP in such a double mind? For the longest time, you've been going back and forth. We see senior BJP leaders come out and say, we don't have the numbers, we will not form the government, people never gave us the mandate. Suddenly you say, yes, we will form the government, we are willing to go ahead and take up the LG's offer. What is it that's going on in the BJP? Are you so scared of Arvind Kejriwal that you don't want to go back to the hustings?
First and foremost, let me remind you of the fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party won all the 7 Lok Sabha seats only recently.
That should give you greater confidence.
That's the reason as to why.
Because if I translate Lok Sabha trends into assembly leads, you would have won 60 seats. If I were confident, those 60 seats are the shortest region. You should call for fresh polls.
I understand your question. Let me complete my answer. And that's the reason as to why I would take an offense when you say that we are scared of Arvind Kejriwal, who is gradually a non-entity within his own premises also. Secondly, we have not said anything as of now. We have not received an invitation from the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. Let the Lieutenant Governor write a letter to us. We will give a reply after a critical analysis. So why are we trying to preempt a situation which has not developed? And as far as going back and forth is concerned, I believe the only party which went back and forth is the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party's chief Arvind Kejriwal wanted to be the chief minister by the evening and prime minister by the morning. That's the result as to why all this chaos in Delhi is seen. And very categorically, emphatically, I will put one point and end my statement. It is because of one man's ambition, Arvind Kejriwal's over-ambitiousness, that Delhi is facing this kind of problem.
The debate is not about Arvind Kejriwal. It is about what the BJP intends to do. And I have over here the results of a snap poll with 3,000 respondents who were asked on the telephone whether they wanted president's rule, whether they wanted fresh polls, or they wanted someone to form the government. 89.8% of the respondents said that they'd rather go in for fresh polls. Clearly, somewhere, Sambit, in the BJP calculation is the fear that if you call for fresh polls now, you give Arvind Kejriwal a fresh dose of oxygen, and that's something that you're trying to starve him off, which is why you're so concerned. That's the reality, admit it, because even if you don't, the people who are watching this broadcast know enough about politics to know that is absolutely true.
First and foremost, I forgot, well, you had reminded me of the fact. Let me begin by congratulating the Aam Aadmi Party. After long, many time, they have got the oxygen that they strive on, that is the airspace. Congratulations. But secondly and most importantly, yes, we will take into consideration all that the people even want. And we tell you, and that's what I was telling you, that when we'll have the critical analysis at the end, if we get a questionnaire by the Lieutenant Governor, we will think about it. We have not replied as yet. So why should we jump the guns and say that we are forming our government, we are not forming our government? Let me assure you of two things. We will not go into horse trading, and whatever we will do within the ambits of constitutionality. I think these two...
Yadav, if this is an assurance from the BJP that there will be no horse trading, whatever happens will happen under the ambit of the constitution, and they say they will only react if the LG asks them to. They haven't even said so far that they are going to form the next government. Is this much noise about nothing?
I'm surprised, Rahul. I really wish that my colleague from the BJP had at least responded to the comments made by the BJP president, who has said that yes, if the invitation comes to us, we will consider it. He has not said that if the invitation comes to us, if we don't have majority, we will not form the government. So clearly we are not looking at a potential, possible, hypothetical scenario. We are looking at a real scenario, and this is India. Files don't begin to move unless approval has been given for this. So clearly some thinking has gone into it. Clearly this is a major ploy. And what we know are three basic things. One, the BJP doesn't have the courage to face elections, which is ironic for a party which has won all the 7 seats. Possibly in the last 2 or 3 weeks, Aam Aadmi Party's stock seems to be going up, and this is what is worrying BJP, especially after the by-polls. Fact number 2 is BJP doesn't have qualms. They may have said nice things about not horse trading or so on, but clearly at some stage BJP has made up its mind that all right, instead of facing elections, if we have to do something slightly bad, all right, let's be done with it. That's number 2. And number 3, what they do have is a control over the constitutional office of LG, who has behaved in ways which are not quite keeping with the propriety of the LG's office. You know, if all that he had to recommend that a minority government be installed, this is something he could have said on 15th of February. This is something he could have said.
No, but you're casting aspersions on Najib Jung, Yogendra Yadav, without having A, any proof, and B, he was a UPA appointee, so it's not even as if Sambit Patra's party has gone out and installed Najib Jung in this office and he's acting at their behest. He is as non-partisan a participant as you're going to find. He's not a NDA appointee in the least.
Rahul, I'm not reading any motive as yet. I'm simply saying that this conduct is rather strange, because nothing, unless there is something special mentioned in the President's report which no one has read, unless it points out a new fact, I'm surprised, I'm stunned that based on the same facts which were there in the month of February, middle of February, in the middle of May, after the parliamentary elections come, and now he recommends that a minority government
But
be
that's an
installed.
important question, Sambit, and a question that people will ask. What is it that's changed between the time Arvind Kejriwal's party decided to withdraw forming a government and decided to, you know, actually bring down their own government, and now for the LG suddenly to wake up and say he wants to invite the BJP to form the next government? Surely there are some backroom parleys that are going on. That's a legitimate concern, the Aam Aadmi Party.
Let me keep 2 quick points. First point, let me remind my friend from Aam Aadmi Party that one of their important leaders at a point of time was saying, or alleging rather, on television, and we all know of that the Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Najib Jung, is a Congress agent. He used the particular word, Congress agent. And today, in a very oblique manner, the Aam Aadmi Party suggests that he is a BJP agent. I believe at least, the Lieutenant Governor and governors would not become agents and change agencies just as if they were changing clothes. Secondly and importantly, remember, Rahul, and this is a fact, that the Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, in fact, gave a letter to the governor.
I hope you realize, no matter what you say, it sounds hollow. The only way the BJP will have a legitimate claim to form the next government is if you go in for fresh polls, if you believe you can beat Yogendra Yadav, Arvind Kejriwal and their party.
No, I have a question to Mr.
Beat them
Yogendra
at the
Yadav.
hustings. any sneaking in through the
No, can I-
back
can
door
I ask-
doesn't carry respectability no matter
Can
what
I
you
ask
say.
a question?
Sambit Patra.
I just want to ask a question to Mr. Yogendra Yadav.
No,
The question-
answer my question.
Pata nahi
Sambit.
kya hum hai?
Whatever it is that you're trying to do
Just
lacks
give me a second.
respectability. It is
Give-
not
give
the
me a
honorable
second.
thing to do.
Give me a
If you're
second.
confident that you'd win 60
Give
seats,
me a
call
second.
for polls.
Give me a second.
You're not answering
Give
my
me-
question because you
How
don't
would
have
you-
an answer
if you would
to that
stop,
question.
if you would stop speaking alone, then I would be able to answer. Remember, they had submitted a letter to the Lieutenant Governor saying, please don't dissolve the assembly and let it only be in suspended animation, because we want to see what are the options of forming government. The Aam Aadmi Party has said. Your examining the options of forming the government are constitutional. Our examining the formation of government is horse trading. How can you have double standards in politics? It is allowed within the ambits of constitutionality that for 1 year you can have a president rule. Within that, the Lieutenant Governor, who
I
is
want to bring Brajesh
representative,
Kalappa in as
who
well,
is-
because the last time an attempt was made to form a minority government in Delhi, the Congress played along. So therefore, how can you question what the BJP now intends to do, because you and Yogendra Yadav's party together worked the last time in a similar situation. So you can't say it's okay for you to try this, but it's not okay for Sambit Patra and his party to try a similar formulation.
No, given the numbers, Rahul, I think it's extraordinary for the BJP to attempt to form a majority out of a minority. You see, the very fact that in December of 2013, the BJP had written to the Lieutenant Governor, they're saying that it would not be possible for it to form the government, and only after that the Congress had no option but to support the Aam Aadmi Party. And as you well know, we had an extremely bad experience with the Aam Aadmi Party. They were a party of shirkers, they were a party who ran away, right? So now, given these circumstances, the only situation which will probably arise where the BJP can actually formulate a majority government from a minority one is by taking the support of the Congress Party. And you know for a fact that the Congress Party would never support the BJP. So what is the option left? So the point is that the BJP will try to do what they did in Karnataka, which is to have a minority become a majority by way of getting MLAs from other political parties to resign, to give them huge amounts of money.
But the reality, while you say that, and that is absolutely true, Brajesh Kalappa, but the reality, Yogendra Yadav, of the political situation in Delhi is that there are more than enough MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party who are fed up with the state of limbo, who are more than desperate to embrace the BJP, and the same goes for the Congress, that even though they have very few MLAs, most of them are prepared to ditch the Congress and get into some sort of an alliance that helps them stay in power. That is the reality. Even you cannot deny it, Yogendra Yadav.
But no, what you're not you're not
just one by one. I don't want both guests speaking at the same time. Let Yogendra Yadav speak first. I'm coming back to you, Brajesh, in a moment.
Rahul, as a journalist, you possibly have more information than I do about both the parties. I don't think this is the case. I don't think they are willing to go anywhere. MLAs may wish to perform their duties. Every MLA would wish to complete the tenure and actually would wish to be able to serve the people. But which is not to say they are willing to jump guns and so on. But in any case, the fundamental fact, Rahul, is that all such things were considered. Remember, in the 90s, our country went through all kinds of things, 80s and 90s. And then we came up with anti-defection bill, which lays down constitutional norms about what can happen and what cannot happen, which was revised later on, Rahul, and the bar now is 2/3, not 1/3. Your graphics were wrong. You need to have 6 Congress MLAs, not 3. So there's a 2/3 is the bar right now. And we created all this precisely because we wanted the country to be rid of the menace of defection. And unfortunately, what is being attempted today is classic old style defection, which is so dangerous for democracy. I should respond to Mr. Sambit Mahapatra's his question. Yes, we gave a letter to the LG. The letter said, sir, in case you are thinking of dissolution right now, will you please wait for 1 week so that Aam Aadmi Party can consult the people of Delhi. It was for 1 week and to consult the people of Delhi. We
Can I
did
come in,
not
Rahul?
stake the claims for forming government. It was not a permanent letter. In any case, it's been discussed in the Supreme Court. I think the simple question today is, if the LG has 36 letters in favor of the BJP, He is perfectly entitled.
You can, that's an important point. You can say what you want, Sambit Patra. The reality is the only way you can cross the magic figure of 34 is if you orchestrate defections, if you get some of the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party MLAs to secretly vote for you. Without that, you will not cross the magic mark. So you can be as pious and holy as you want, but this government will be formed through deceit and cheating.
Rahul, let me remind you of an expose by none other than the headlines today itself. You had flashed a video, as the Aaj Tak also had flashed a video, that there was a meeting going on in one of the Congress MLAs residence, where 6 or 7 of the MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party had conglomerated and were discussing the scenario of forming a government. And there the Congress MLA had said that Manish Sisodiya had in fact sent him numerable messages saying, Ped ke niche milo, ghar ke piche milo, today milo, tomorrow milo.
And I want none of that is material to what the BJP is trying to do. I will explain to you why. Because
if anyone is trying
Amit
to break...
Shah and Narendra Modi say they want to do a different kind of politics, that they believe that the only way to form a government is by getting a majority. Now you will try and orchestrate some sort of a jugaad government, but is that the message Prime Minister Modi wants to say?
I have reassured you,
there is no other way in which this can be done. You can assure me until the cows come back to roost.
Have we formed the government? Have we formed the government? Has the invite come to us from the Lieutenant Governor? We are preempting things, but I assure you we will not indulge into horse trading as the
I want quick final comments from Brajesh Kalapa.
And do my good friends from Aam Aadmi Party and Congress have no faith on their MLAs? Don't they have any faith on their MLAs? Are their MLAs ready to skip the gun?
Yes, Brajesh.
Yeah, Rahul. You see, the point is, Rahul, that BJP spokesmen across the day, through the day, have been speaking of a secret ballot. And the only thing that is in a secret ballot is the way in which to manipulate a majority. So this is why the BJP spokesmen through the day have been speaking of the quality of a secret ballot, which has been approved by the Supreme Court. But those were under extraordinary circumstances. You see, the BJP today is not the BJP of, say, 3-4 months ago, when they won a massive mandate. You see, they have lost in Uttarakhand. They have lost a series of elections, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Karnataka. They are losing all over the place. Now the point is, the BJP would like, they of course love power, but they would like to come to power without having to work hard for it. But I must remind them that what happened in Karnataka is going to happen to them here. They had a chief minister in Karnataka go to jail. They had dozens of ministers in Karnataka go to jail.
You've made your point.
The very same thing is bound to happen in Delhi.
Here's what I wish to tell our viewers before we conclude. That the BJP's real concern is that they want to deny oxygen to the Aam Aadmi Party. They believe that the Aam Aadmi Party is currently on the back burner. It's out of people's mind and sight, and they feel that if elections are called for today, Arvind Kejriwal will once again get the oxygen of publicity that his party is built on and thrives on. They want to deny that oxygen in the hope that if they form a government and can run it for 3.5–4 years, people would have forgotten about Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party. Well, the reality, Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, is that the only honest, credible solution in this scenario is for you to call polls, and if you feel you are as confident as you claim to be, let the people of Delhi vote for you. Any jugaad government will not carry credibility. The reality also is that despite what Professor Yogendra Yadav and Brajesh Kalapa are saying, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party are having a tough time holding on to the MLAs, and that's helping the BJP. But this government would be built on a foundation of deceit, and that is not the kind of politics that Prime Minister Narendra Modi promised. Yogendra Yadav, Brajesh Kalapa, Sambit Patra for joining us on the Centre Stage Face Off tonight. Thank you very much. Let's move on to our other big story tonight. The valley is flooded and the situation is turning more grim with every passing day. Nearly 20 persons are dead and another 45 feared killed so far, with many parts of South Kashmir, including Pulwama, Anantnag and Kulgam, totally submerged. The army and the NDRF have been called in to assist in the relief and rescue efforts. Sujaul Haq reports.
Heavy rains in the last 3 days, leading to massive flooding in both Jammu region and the Kashmir Valley, with Jhelum flowing 12 feet above the danger mark, while over 24 villages in Jammu are submerged. In Srinagar, Chief Minister Omar Abdullah supervised the rescue operations. Abdullah was leading from the front as army jawans tried reaching those left stranded by the floods using boats. But shortage of boats and other equipment is hampering rescue efforts.
Our immediate focus is on rescue, on ensuring that people who are trapped by the waters are removed. For that, we are mobilizing as many boats as possible. Once the water levels go down, the next challenge is then to begin the process of rehabilitating those people who have been affected by the rains.
Many parts of capital Srinagar have been inundated, including this hospital, which is the city's largest, causing huge trouble to those seeking medical aid.
A very grim situation on the ground, and the worst part is that the weather department has predicted that the rains would continue to lash at least for next 24 hours. Clearly, the administration is gearing up for the worst.
South Kashmir is the worst affected. The army has rescued over 2,500 people, but hundreds of others are still stranded.
Unprecedented conditions. We have never had this kind of flood situation, I think, for the last more than 30 years. Whatever was possible has been done.
In Jammu region too, the situation is as bad. On Friday, at least a dozen people were killed in landslide following heavy rains. Meanwhile, 11 bodies have been recovered from the ill-fated bus that was washed away on Thursday. The remaining 39 passengers too are feared dead. Landslides near Trikuta Hills have left to suspension of the Vaishno Devi Yatra. Minister of State Jitendra Singh will visit the region to assess the damage. Home Minister Rajnath Singh called Omar Abdullah, promising all help from the centre. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Very sad situation there. Hope the flood eases. A quick programming note. Through the day tomorrow, you can watch India Today Group's Mind Rock, the Youth Summit, live from the City Fort Stadium. We've got City Fort Auditorium. We've got Piyush Goyal, the Power Minister, Deepika Padukone, several youth icons joining us all through the day. If there's one event that gets young people all excited, it's the Mind Rocks Youth Summit. You can watch it live on Headlines Today and Aaj Tak all through the day tomorrow. That's something you should look out to. Lots of fun, lots of energy, lots of excitement. That's where we wrap up Center Stage for tonight. I look forward to seeing you at 9:30 p.m. Monday evening, but we have a lot of action, very interesting programs lined up for you tomorrow through Mind Rocks. I hope you tune in and catch some of the fun. Thank you very much for watching our broadcast this evening. Goodbye and good night.